Question: what happens when your tripod breaks? What? Answer in 30 seconds. Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to say good morning, Steve. How are you today?
Good morning. Oh, I'm fine.
Good. Thank you for being here.
Mhm.
Okay, before I get into anything, this is what my tripod currently looks like. Smashed in two. Can you see that? The second piece? No? Okay, so it's two pieces. This and this. Well, put it this way. All I did was put my camera on it last night, like I normally would. I went to bend the angle to the camera to the height and the angle I needed it to create a video. All of a sudden, smash. So my options were cancel today's show or get creative. We will get into that later on during the broadcast. There is a temporary solution, and we will talk about that. Steve, thank you so much for being here. We're
Mhm.
going to talk today about something that is heavily on people's minds during the month of January, particularly new year, new start, better thoughts of improving health. Many people want to get into losing weight. You had a wonderful weight loss journey. I'm going to hand you the platform, and if you'd be so kind to describe that you had a weight issue at one time in life. No one would ever know that today. Looking at you, no one, and I mean no one would ever know that today. How did you handle it? What happened?
Well, my journey started on March 29th, 2004. It's hard to believe it's coming up on 17 years ago, but it almost feels like yesterday. But um, what happened I have a hereditary medical disease that I was born with, and I started having vision problems with my right eye. And my mom sent me to this doctor that covered homeopathy medicine, nutrition. She was also a OBGYN doctor. Let's just say she was like a jack of all trades when it comes to medical and nutrition. All right. So I went, and it was not, mind you, it was not exactly the cheapest doctor to go and visit. It was you know, about $350 in consultation to get in. And so I went in. She took my weight, my vitals, heartbeat, all of it. Well, I clocked out at 321 as far as my weight. My blood pressure was 152 over 103. And what it was is the end result is I have 2400 in my right eye. There is no correction. I can't go and have LASIK to fix it because I've had, hemorrhage, internal bleeding from it off and on. But I've learned to cope with it because I have my left eye has to be the one to cope and function from my right. If I have to see something on my right, I have to look that way. Or anyway, I started losing weight. Uh, I wound up being on several diets. I really didn't know what to do at the time because when I was in, the doctor's office, she said, "Steve, do you happen to know what your blood type is?" I said, "No, I don't." Now, mind you, I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 later that year. And mind you, my 30s was like a life changing for me. And I went to a place called Century Ambulance Century Testing. You can go in if you have insurance or whatnot. They take your insurance. They bill the insurance company. If you have a copay, you pay it. I wound up not. I don't think I paid anything. And they did my blood work. And about 5 or 6 days later, my blood results came back. Keep in mind, I always thought for years and years my blood type was always AB negative or AB blood type because they say people with AB is more susceptible to getting sick, which back then I got sick a lot. Well, that wasn't the case. My blood type is the blood type that all of the blood banks want. I'm O positive. So she gave me this paper, Steve. Here's this paper. This is what you're supposed to eat, what you're not supposed to eat. And a man named, there's a man behind this book. It's, the book is called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. And you can always look it up on Amazon or whatnot if you're interested in finding out more about it. But I didn't harp on just that. I wound up combining several diets. I did the South Beach. I did a little bit of the Atkins. I tried the caveman diet where you eat nothing but meat. I didn't care for that one too much. And but actually, what wound up happening more than anything is on the blood type diet. Even though I'm an O, I actually ate and still eat more like a type A person does. And I'll elaborate. People with O types are low in iron, therefore we need our red meats, even if it's 3 to 4 ounces a day. People with the A blood type diet is more of a vegetable type. So I actually wound up eating more vegetables and fruits and things like that in my diet. And of course, I would mix in my carbs. And of course, I had to wean myself away from sodas. I was bad about drinking cola. I would eat something sweet and then I would have to drink cola behind it. I was drinking 3 liters of Coke. Oops, did I say that? Of cola a day.
Okay, just for record, no one's endorsing any diet. No one's endorsing any.
That was a right.
That's okay. No, we all make
Well, anyway, I was drinking 3 liters, of it a day, and I slowly had to, through the help of the doctor, I was drinking, like sparkling waters, and at first I had to have like sparkling waters that had flavoring in it. I had to have
right,
but eventually my taste buds did change. I got to where I liked water.
Right.
But in this aspect, I still do like seltzers and certain mineral waters and things like that. Because it's no calorie and all that. But I have not drank any type of sweetened sodas, you name it, the cola and lemon lime, all of your general, since 2004. I take that back. I did try a couple of years later, maybe 3. I did take a sip of it and I spit it back out immediately. I couldn't drink it. Well, anyway, the end result is I wound up losing a good 100 pounds off of that. Now, mind you, I would also exercise. I would walk. And because of my face, I would have to go out in the early morning before the sun goes up. And or I would have to do something late in the evening when the sun goes down. I can't. So during the day, I'm not really an outside sun worshiper. I'm usually in.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. And of course, I would have a cup of coffee in the morning, before I went because to speed up my metabolism, at least 1 cup. And, well, right now, I'm not, I have put on a little bit of weight. I'm not anywhere near 321. Right now, I'm probably like, the last time I weighed, because of the coronavirus and people are indoors and you can't really do a whole lot. The last time I checked my weight, I'm like 242, which I'm still well below.
Sure. I can't even believe that you were ever near that number. I mean, if you didn't show me pictures, when I first started, speaking with you years back, I was like, wow. See, here's the thing, anyone can lose weight. The trick is maintenance. So my question begs to you, what did you do to maintain it? I'm not talking about surgical procedures. Just what did you do to change your mindset? Did you do things drastically or little by little? What was your method?
Little by little. I found, don't get me wrong, I tried a couple of weight loss things a few years back prior to 2004. Never do anything. I got to get this off. I got to get it off now. I have to get this weight off. If you hurry to get weight off, you're going to put it right back on.
Definitely agree.
I found that out. Well, let me see, right around my birthday of 2001, I decided to try the Atkins diet. And I'm not saying the Atkins diet didn't work, but it was a bad time for me to start a diet because my birthday was literally 2.5 weeks away.
Yeah, never start diets near birthday cakes.
Guess what happened? So one of my friends that I've lost touch with, Steve, I'm going to take you out for dinner. Let's go to a Chinese restaurant. Well, okay, we have a little problem. In the Atkins diet, you can't have carbs. What's on a Chinese buffet? Lo mein, rice. We have a little disconnect there. So
I have a slight get around to that, but when you finish speaking, I'll mention that. That's a great question for people who love Asian food and they're kind of watching their carbs. But go ahead.
But what I did is, I mean, on the Atkins diet, I like what it consists of. You can have your meat, your cheeses, your whole nuts and certain things. You do it in certain stages. But I tried it for a little while. The diet, I don't know if the diet worked or not. I wasn't on it long enough. I know that it made my body feel a little different in that short time. I know I felt a little better, but that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't really have much more to go on besides that. So,
thank you so much for sharing that part of that personal information, and you've maintained it. Just want to throw in regarding, if a person wants to go out to eat like that. Here's a good way to get around it. In my opinion, not a doctor, but when I was adhering to that particular plan, I would go for things like chicken with broccoli. Broccoli's acceptable. Chicken is acceptable. Chicken. Beef with broccoli. Yeah. Egg foo young, great option. Great option. Egg foo young is like a glorified omelet, in my opinion.
That's right.
So there are ways to get around it, and do not eat the rices, do not eat the noodles or whatever. If it depends on what plan that you're adhering to. But since I barely eat out anymore, I want to get back to myself. What I've done recently, which is another great thing to do. If you know your trigger, anybody out there have a trigger food? My trigger food is, and now I can really say was, and Steve, you could attest to it, ice cream. So I made up my mind. My last time that I had ice cream is actually documented on one of my prior videos. And that was December 8th, 2019. So I made up my mind. I said that to myself, that's the last day I'm having ice cream, because ice cream for me was a trigger food. Like after I had ice cream, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, I want to eat this, I want to eat that. I couldn't get enough ice cream mentally. So I just made a clean break of it. And what did I do in between when the craving came? I figured it out, Steve. You know what it was? I wasn't so much craving ice cream. I was craving the texture of cold and smooth. What else can you make that's cold and smooth? So I swapped out with yogurt. So yeah, remember I went on this homemade yogurt binge thing, which I'll go back to again when, the need comes up. I seem to look for it more in the warmer months, like people look for ice cream in the warmer months. So everybody needs to know what works for their body by just quitting one thing, Steve, which was the ice cream. I lost an amazing amount of pounds just quitting one thing. In addition, I rarely have actual soda. The last one I had was that, one that begins with the letter doctor, the word doctor. And I had that once, the last time I had that was 14 months ago. and I had it as my big deal New Year's Eve drink because I don't drink. I'm not into alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm boring as all heck, but that's okay. I'd rather be boring. But so yeah. So if you like, if a person's trigger is soda, you know what I saw, Steve, on one of those talk shows years ago? I think it might have been Dr. Phil. I'm not positive. One person was very heavy. They were drinking. Dr. Phil calculated the amount of weight that person gained from drinking a ton of soda, and then they took out in wagonfuls bottles of the soda that person was consuming in a year, and they did the math on it, and that person was gaining like 10 pounds per year
That's
just
right.
by drinking soda. One item.
I
Yeah.
can attest to that. How do you think I put my weight on?
Is that? Oh my. Okay.
But I wanted to come back to the
Sure.
ice cream. I have a method, and I used it while I was on my weight loss. And sometimes I do it now if I do get ice cream, I get the little Ben and Jerry's little small Haagen-Dazs little. Okay, so I pay more money for it, but it's portion control. What you do is you get a tablespoon.
Right.
And I've said this on a few other, contributor channel contributions in the past with you. You get a heaping tablespoon of ice cream. You might get 3 bites off of that. You take one, eat it, let your brain know you're getting another 3. If you can get 4 bites, great. But usually it's on an average, it's about 3. That's all the ice cream you need.
Right.
It works.
So you didn't deprive yourself. You didn't say, "Oh, never again," or because that's not realistic.
No,
It's
everybody.
realistic to think never again.
No, everybody says, "Oh, but you can't have this and you can't do this. So if you eat that, it's going to put weight." No. Moderation never hurt anybody.
Absolutely. In my case, everybody's case is different. In my case, I knew it was a trigger food that would lead me to want to have more of other things. So in my case, I made up my mind. I said, well, I know one day, if you always tell yourself one day you could have something, it takes a lot of pressure off. If you say, oh, never again, that's not realistic. That's unrealistic. And then what's going to happen is you'll follow the unrealistic, and then you're going to jump right back into it. As a result of giving myself mental permission, I made a game of it. And well over a year went by, and I did not go back to it. I only had one Klondike past the year anniversary just to keep my commitment that a year later. I had it. Yeah, it was okay. I didn't go, oh, that went away. I'm so glad. When you change your mind, you modify your habits. You know what, Steve? I see a bunch of comments maybe coming up. And by the way, good morning, everyone. Before I get into the comments, and I will tap upon, I have a couple of channel announcements. Yes, I'm going to mention something. I'm going to show you how to do it later on a separate video. The other thing is I was so graciously invited to the How Debbie Saves live show. Yep, this coming Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. If you have never checked out a channel and you're a new subscriber, I strongly recommend that you go over to the How Debbie Saves channel. You will love it. If you love budgeting, if you love money saving tips, just head over there. And that way also, if you subscribe and make sure to tap the bell to get notified, you will be reminded on Tuesday night about her show, and I'll be on that show. I look forward to being a guest there again at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. So please head on over to that show. So you're wondering, well, how are we transmitting this without a tripod? Well, good old-fashioned re-ingenuity comes up. Who knows me on this platform, besides Steve, long enough to know that I worked with a cardboard tripod for over almost a year. I still have the original one. I put that away. It's like my YouTube relic, YouTube memory relic. So I'm not using that. So I flipped out. I was on the phone with a friend when this happened. Do I have to cancel my show? Blah, blah. Then I realized, wait a minute, the light bulb went off. I said, at least for now, I'll put, I'll make a brand new cardboard tripod. So stay tuned to the instruction video on that later today. I'm going to create that a video this morning, and then I will upload it later because it is an instructional video. I take zero credit personally for this idea. It was not my idea. I found it elsewhere on this platform, but I can no longer find that video. Can't find it anymore. So I says, you know something? Got to make it for the folks. Let me get over to the comment section. Let's see if, here's what I'm afraid of. I'm going to tap this and it's going to fall off. If that happens, guys, you know what happened. Good morning or good afternoon, Adam. How are you? Good morning, Patty. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Pam. How you doing? Oh, it's so nice to see you guys. We really appreciate it. So kind of you. How is your New Year's going? Can you believe it? Steve, I don't know about you, but did you have to take any Christmas or anything, decorations down, or you kept it light and didn't put any up?
This year, since well, again, normally because everything is so turned around, my sister and her husband and family usually come to Florida for Christmas. They have a condo that they rent out off and on throughout the year in St. Augustine, which is about 50 minutes from me. And this year was so different. To me, I just treated it like another day.
Yeah. It's interesting you use the word different. I think you couldn't come up with a better word than different. Yeah, different. So basically, in my case, I took down, and it's so simple to put up Christmas decorations. That is so joyful. But, you just get like that kind of like, post-Christmas feel. I took down, I would say about 70%. I left the stocking up for today, but I am going to replace it for about a week with my J stocking, the white one that I love so much. Mm-hmm. I will keep that one up till like January 6th or so, and maybe even just surpass it, leave that up. That's a remnant to a tradition that my mom and dad, bless their hearts, they kept their Christmas decorations up every single year to January 6th. Their tradition was, to do that. They didn't take down the decorations till after January 6th. So in honor of their tradition, I will keep at least one thing up. That's my J stocking. The reason why I love that one so much is not because it's just so cute, but J represents a name beyond Jan. So I take my J very, very seriously. I really, really, really love that stocking. So that's pretty much it. Did anybody out there begin a weight loss journey that's viewing this? And if so, don't hesitate, to share your journey. Steve, do you have any additional tips that you could offer, like drink more water or, that type of thing?
I was going to include that when they say you can't eat something on a diet. Well, no, not necessarily. Everybody needs to do this right here. Take whatever it is you want to have. Take the box, jar, can, whatever it is. Look on the back. You have total fat, carbs, your rundown. Look and see, based on the amount of calories, how much of a serving you're supposed to have in order to equal that. Guess what I learned? Eat half of that. Put it in half.
Right. The rule of half comes back again. Oh, okay. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, Steve. I have this thing. Maybe you heard me mention it in prior videos, and to anyone who's viewing this, I have this thing, this is financially related, called the rule of half. And you may hear me reference it. You will hear me reference it every once in a while. And it's basically taking one item and literally cutting it in half, either physically or mentally or in a recipe, or finding another way to repurpose. And by the way, thank you again, Steve, for this reminder. Because of what happened with this now defunct, what's left of it, tripod, let's make camera pick it up. This week, I made a decision to talk about repurposing. Okay? In a way, sometimes out of bad comes good. So every day this week, we're going to talk about repurposing, whether it's on a live show or a regular video. Because, for example, how am I broadcasting? I'm broadcasting to you on something, common household item that you should never, ever, ever get rid of when you receive it for free. What? We'll talk about that in my video upload. I should be uploading before 12 o'clock my time. So definitely check it out. Do I see Kate Caden?
Yeah.
Good morning, Kate. How are you? Oh, Happy New Year. Thank you. We look forward to seeing the Kate Caden live show. I'm assuming you're coming on live today at 10 o'clock, Kate. Am I correct? I want to make sure I give the correct information. Kate Caden has a plethora of information and vivacious, and I can't wait. One day in the not so distant future, we will get together with Kate on one of our live shows here, which is so cool. And thank you for that. Patty likes the rule of half for
it works.
everything.
It's very effective. Yeah.
Very, very nice. I do believe when you change your mindset, you change your life. What is that, Steve?
What I wanted to say is, again, on the course of weight loss, and I don't like, I hate to use the word diet. Why does everybody have to use the word diet? But anyway, that's neither here or there. But everybody says, oh, when you're on a diet, you can't have certain wrong. You can cut it back. Well, look at my trick with the ice cream. Ice cream is a semi-weakness of mine, but you can have whatever you want. Just cut back the amount that you eat. If you eat, if you eat a whole sandwich in one sitting, eat half. Wait a couple of hours and eat the other half. Let your body.
I love the rule of half. I also think we've been a little brainwashed. For example, we go to eateries that give us, let's say, a 3-egg omelet. Do we really have to have a 3-egg omelet? All right, somebody might say, well, how do you make it 1.5 eggs? Of course you don't. That's a little hard, but maybe cut it down to 2. I've actually eaten 1-egg omelet and throw in some vegetables to, to plump it up. I mean, you get creative, and that's the whole thing. Well, Steve, I want to thank you so much for sharing your information. And please, everybody, head over to the Kate Caden channel. You will love her. We do. Mm-hmm. Always did, always will. Yeah. And yes, I will be there at 10 o'clock with bells on. I love watching your live show and every other show and upload for that matter. You really give us so much helpful information and in a very, very informative, fun way. We have fun watching your stuff. So listen, everybody, thank you so much for coming by. We really do appreciate it. Steve, I'm going to be back tomorrow at 6:15 a.m. for my usual, the Jan Zone, which is a shorter show, usually about 15 to 20 minutes during the week. Mm-hmm. Thank everybody for your comments and for watching us on playback. And in case I forget, I have to mention this every once in a while. Don't forget to consider subscribing to this channel if you like what you see. And please slam down the like button if you like what you see. And don't hesitate to share the video. Have an amazing day, everybody. See you later, Kate. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming by.
Bye.
Bye.